You see her story notification pop up on your phone, her name, right there at the top, and you swipe past it. But what happens next in her mind will probably shock you, because those 3 seconds of scrolling past her content aren't just ignored. They trigger a psychological chain reaction that most guys have no idea is even happening. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why that simple swipe is destroying your chances with her without you even realizing it. But first, let me tell you what she notices immediately when you ignore her story. It's not that you didn't respond. It's something much more revealing about your true intentions. She sees that you were online. She knows you're scrolling, watching other people's stories, maybe even posting your own content. So she realizes something critical. You made a conscious choice to skip hers. And that choice sends a message you probably never intended to send. Now here's where it gets interesting, because what happens in her brain next determines everything about how she'll treat you going forward. But there's something else you need to understand first about why this matters so much. When she posted that story, it wasn't random. There was intention behind it. Maybe she chose that specific photo because she thought you'd appreciate it. Maybe she wrote that caption with you in mind. Maybe she timed it perfectly for when she knew you'd be online. But you scrolled past, and now her mind starts doing something that will change how she sees you completely. The first wave that hits her isn't anger. It's something quieter, but more dangerous. It's the realization that among all the content she could create, hers wasn't worth 5 seconds of your attention, not even a quick double tap or reaction. But that's just the beginning, because now her brain starts filling in the blanks about why you ignored her. And here's what you need to understand about how her mind works in these moments. And this is crucial for everything that happens next. Her brain doesn't fill in those blanks with positive assumptions. She's not thinking you're busy. She's thinking you saw it and chose not to respond. And that choice means something specific to her. She starts wondering what she did wrong. Was her story too much? Too little? Did she reveal something that made you see her differently? And then comes the comparison phase, which is where things get really destructive for your connection with her. She's analyzing who else viewed her story and who actually reacted. She's wondering what makes them more worthy of your attention. She might even scroll through your recent activity, looking for clues about what captures your focus when she apparently can't. But here's the part that will determine whether she gives you any more chances or starts pulling away completely. Because now she's not just dealing with your lack of response. She's dealing with what that represents in the bigger picture. If you're dating, she's wondering if you're losing interest. If you're friends, she's questioning whether she matters to you at all. If it's complicated, she's trying to decode what your silence means about where you stand with her. And this leads to the third wave, which is the most damaging one. Because now it's not about you anymore, it's about how she sees herself. And once this shift happens, it's almost impossible to reverse. When someone you care about consistently ignores your attempts at connection, even small ones like stories, it starts destroying something deeper. She begins questioning her own worth, her own judgment about what's interesting or valuable. She starts overthinking every future story before posting it. Will this make him respond? Is this good enough? Maybe I shouldn't post anything at all. But there's something even more destructive happening that most guys never realize. Because now, your digital indifference isn't just affecting how she sees your relationship, it's changing how she shows up as herself. She starts second-guessing her instincts, dimming her personality, trying to curate a version of herself that might finally get your attention. And in doing so, she loses what makes her authentically attractive in the first place. Here's what she's really thinking when you ignore her stories, and this will explain every confusing behavior change you've probably noticed. If something as simple as acknowledging my existence isn't worth his time, then maybe I'm not worth his time. Once that thought takes root, everything changes. How she communicates with you, how vulnerable she's willing to be, how much effort she puts into maintaining any connection with you. She starts pulling back, not because she's playing games, but because she's protecting herself from feeling invisible to someone she doesn't want to be invisible to. But here's what most guys miss entirely, and understanding this could save your connection with her before it's too late. Your digital behavior isn't separate from your real-world relationship. It's part of it. Every story you ignore is a missed opportunity to show her she matters. Every consistent pattern of indifference is building a case in her mind that you're not actually interested. And once she decides you're not interested, she stops trying to get your attention. She stops being vulnerable. She stops seeing you as someone worth her emotional investment. So what's the solution? It's not about performing fake interest. It's about being honest with yourself about what your behavior is actually communicating. If someone matters to you, show up for them in small ways. A quick reaction, a comment, even just consistently viewing their stories so they know you're paying attention. But if someone doesn't matter to you enough to engage with their content, then be honest about that too. Don't string them along with sporadic attention that keeps them guessing about where they stand. Because what she thinks when you ignore her stories isn't just about the stories themselves. It's about what those stories represent. Her attempts to stay connected with you, to share pieces of her life, to maintain some thread between your worlds. When you ignore those attempts repeatedly, you're not just missing content. You're missing opportunities to show someone they matter. And once someone stops believing they matter to you, convincing them otherwise becomes almost impossible. The digital age has given us countless ways to connect, but also countless ways to accidentally push people away. Your story interactions might seem trivial, but to her, they're confirmations that she exists in your world. So the next time you see her story notification, remember this. Behind that post is someone who chose to share something with you. How you respond to that choice says everything about how much you value her place in your life.